Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy 3 Stacks in this thing, representing Team King of Games, and I'm going over an update over my Pendulum Magicians. Now, I basically took a crack at it for the first time when I got the deck, and I built this really dank build. It was legit, and I really liked the way it played. And then after strenuous playtesting, I ended up basically upgrading it, taking some things out, adding some stuff in to make the deck better, a lot more consistent, and just to make my hands a bit more broken than they were originally. So I really like this deck. It's like a taste of Pepe's, you can say, because it's like Pepe's, you know, they were one of the best decks of all time. They didn't really get a chance to live very long. And this deck reminds me so much of Pepe's. No, we don't have a monkey board, and we don't have a damage juggler, but we still have like everything else, which is insane. Which, you know, also at 3, which I really like a lot. Like, this deck is just retarded. In the other deck profile that I showcased from my Pendulum Magicians, I actually made the mistake in the beginning of the video that saying that we don't have Skulk or Bat Joker when I meant to say Monkey Board, and there's like a lot of hate comments for that. I'm like, jeez, it's just like a simple mistake. Calm down, people. But anyways, we're going over an update of this deck. I really enjoy this. It's like a competitive deck. It really is. It's strong. Like, you can play this format and do good. But I look at it like a fun deck. Like, it's just really fun, and that's my reason for picking it up to begin with. I didn't pick it up because like it was good. I just picked it up because it's fun, and it's like the closest thing to Pepe. I unfortunately never got a chance to play Pepe when it was a thing, so this is like, you know, me basically getting my taste of it, if it makes sense. So without further ado, this is my main deck. We're playing 3 copies of Mist Valley Apex Avion. There was somebody else that actually inspired me to play this card. I saw him at my locals. He was playing Magicians, and he summoned 2 of these his first turn. And he, at the time, Pendulum Graph trapped. He basically was able to disrupt his opponent by popping a card, sending a card to the grave, and negating 2 of his cards, which left his opponent at 2 cards in hand, and he literally just passed and got attacked for game the next turn, which is insane. I was like, what just happened there? And he's like, yeah, dude, you should run this card. I'm like, why didn't I think of that? I feel like an idiot. So this is not my idea. Somebody else actually inspired me. I wish I knew his name. I'll definitely give him a shout out because that's just like insane. And then come to find out, like, what he explained to me, he was like, a lot of people play this card. I don't know why you didn't do it. I'm like, I didn't really know too much about Pendulum Magicians, bro. I just kind of picked the deck up and just made my own build out of it with the cards that I have. And he's like, yeah, man, you should look at some deck profiles and see how people play it. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that, but I will take, you know, I'll definitely use your idea for the Avion. So he inspired me to play 3 Avion. It actually works out incredible. It's like insane. Like, you open up with scales all the time to summon this card, and it's just like another card that your opponent has to play around. Like, naturally in the Pendulum matchup, when you're playing against this deck, you have to play around Time Pendulum Graph, like always, and this is an additional card that you have to play around in addition to you having to make your own board to try to break the board that I made. So it makes it a bit more difficult. Not impossible, but it's nice to have the built-in protection to, you know, stun your opponent. And because Apex Avion actually negates any effect, it could be a diagram that's already face up on the field. It's like Cyber Dragon Infinity. It could be an effect from the grave, like the True Draco traps. It's not activating a spell or trap when they go to the graveyard, but you can negate the effect of a True Draco trap or spell with Avion. Yes, you can. He negates any card or effect, which is insane. Which means, like I said, it could be face up on the field and he'll negate it. It's like Cyber Dragon Infinity, but on crack because he keeps coming back and he never just goes away. So long as your opponent basically doesn't strike him and, you know, he goes to the grave at that point. But he keeps coming to the hand, and it's just like you just keep Pendulum summoning him. He's really strong. I like him a lot. Like, I like opening up with him, and he's also a great card. Like, he increases your ceiling definitely, and like he kind of helps out with the tempo when you're going second and you have to play through back rows. It's always nice to like Pendulum summon for just this guy, and then like try to attempt to swing over your opponent's back rows if they have a response. You know, chain this guy, negate. Then you can like normal summon your Joker, set up your scales. It's just like really cool. Wavering Eyes, blow up your double iris, and then search for your Time Pendulum Graph, search for something else, and then just like kind of set from at that point. It's just a really strong card. Then we also play 2 copies of Astrograph Sorcerer. This guy's really strong. I decided to cut him from 3 to 2 because like, even though it's nice to open up with him, which it really is nice, it's not very nice to open up with multiples of him. And at the same time, what I realized is not only can you search him with Time Star Magician, but if he somehow gets sent to the graveyard, you can add him from your graveyard to your hand. You can also add him from your extra deck to your hand. Time Star Magician basically not only searches him, but Time Star Magician recycles him. He has a Dark Spellcaster from grave, extra deck to hand. It's just like insane. So like having 2, it works out fine actually because you could just keep recycling him as much as you need him. I'm playing him in addition to his great effect being like a powerful hand trap, which basically searches for whatever was destroyed this turn if a card you control is destroyed, which actually combos well with your Wavering Eyes. He also is the only way I make Zark, because I like Zark and I still play Zark in my deck. And then in tandem with that, we're playing 3 copies of Skullcrabat Joker. This guy just searches everything. He's like, this is a no-brainer 3 of. Like, you need to play 3 of this card. It doesn't matter if you open with multiples, use one this turn, use the next turn, and he's a scale. And like, it's too good of a card to not play at 3. He's way too good. Skullcrabat Joker is just insane. Then we also play 3 copies of Wisdom Eye. Wisdom Eye does help out the tempo of this deck a lot, because when you open up with like awkward scales, he not only gives you the right scale, but he gives you an additional magician to put damage on board, because he'll go to your extra deck. He just like gives you instant access to your Oath Dragon, so you can add your Harmonizing back when you run low on Harmonizing. Like, say you resolve 3 this duel, still haven't won. Like, this guy gets you the Oath, Oath gets you Harmonizing, then you Pimp her from hand. Just like really nutty combos with Wisdom Eye. I like him a lot. And then we're playing 3 copies of Double Iris. Double Iris is just like a no-brainer. He's just such a powerful card. He's so great. The thing that's so abusive to me about the actual new Pendulums from Pendulum Evolution is that their effects aren't once per turn, and if you strike them, they still get their effect. You could like strike this guy 3 times, and he'll still get his effect no matter what. They won't go to the extra deck, they will go to the grave, but the fact is they still get their effect no matter how many times you destroy them. You basically, I guess in order to negate this card, you would have to Ash it, which, you know, Ash is a card. It exists. But a card that Ash can't stop is actually not Double Iris, but Purple Poison. There's like no real way to negate Purple Poison. It's just like, it's gonna happen no matter what, which is really powerful. But 3 Double Iris, because your graphs are like the cards you live the longest off of. Your Time Pendulum graph and your Star Pendulum graph. And then in tandem with that, we actually played 2 copies of Luster. Luster is a really strong card. There are times when like you open up with Luster and then you have Avion in hand. And at that point, it's like, if you play Luster in the scale, you better pray that you have a Wavering Eyes or like a Time Pendulum graph. But it like comes down to this. Do you want to play Luster in the scale and use his effect to search? Or do you want to Pendulum summon him alongside with your Avion and just have him on the field? Which that's like the only time. Like, it doesn't come up all the time, but it's just like something that does come up every now and then where you'll draw this alongside with Avion. And it's like, you can't play him as a scale, so you're forced to either Pendulum summon him or just kind of keep him in your hand. Which is like, you know, A-okay, you can still make your Ignister. But it just comes down to that sometimes. But in addition to that, even though he might conflict with that every now and then, he's too good of a card for me to not play. Because the thing is, with the Magicians, the newer ones, their effects when they're destroyed, your opponent is not always going to destroy them for you. So what it comes down to is, you need ways to destroy your Iris. You need ways to destroy your Purple Poison. You need ways to destroy your Black Fang. Like, you need ways to pop them and get their effects off. And obviously, if you're going first, you can't use Double Iris. No, you cannot. You can't use Purple Poison. No, you cannot. And no, you can't use Black Fang. Not only do you not get a battle phase, but your opponent has no monsters to have, and there's no monsters to battle. So the only way you can really trigger their effects is with Pendulum Sorcerer, which we have him right here, Luster, or Wavering Eyes itself. So it's like, those are like the only ways. And then I would never make a Tornado Dragon and waste one of Tornado Dragon's effects just to pop a Double Iris. I'd much rather just play Luster in the scale, search a Iris, and search a graph. And if you have Time Pendulum graph, if you have Star Pendulum graph already on the field, so you're going to search 3 times off of that, which is insane. If you have Astral graph, bam, you're searching 4 times, which is just stupid. Like, you just get everything you need in this deck. You don't really have, like, bad hands. Like, you have hands that end with the same results because you have so many 3-ofs that just search other 3-ofs. Double Luster is just like a no-brainer for me. Even though you could search him, I still like this card at 2. Because, like, I really like opening up with him. Like, he's really good. He helps me when I'm going second. If my opponent has cards that are in my way, you just play scale Purple Poison, play Luster. Luster, pop a Purple Poison, pop a card, search a Purple Poison. Then you can, like, summon the Purple Poisons alongside with either a Sorcerer or just another way to pop them. Like, you could just summon them and then just ram them into cards and pop them that way. It's just really stupid. It just helps you to break boards. Luster's just a really strong card. In tandem with the Luster, we play 1 Performing Pop Pendulum Sorcerer. It's just a great one of, like, normally I resolve this guy like 1 time a duel. And if you need to resolve him twice, you just Pendulum summon him from your extra deck, which doesn't really hurt. But naturally, I just need to resolve him once to pop Double Iris into, like, if you have, like, multiple Double Irises, you'll pop 1 in scale and 1 on field and search Double Joker, just so you can get Star and Time if you didn't open up with them. And this guy also helps you to break boards when you're going second. As I explained with the Luster, like, if you go Luster, pop Purple Poison in scale, search a purple, pop a card, then play the purple in scale, or you just play another scale and then Pendulum summon 2 purples and a Pendulum Sorcerer. You'll pop 2 of these and pop 2 more cards that your opponent controls, and then get the search of Double Joker, and then normal summon Joker and search for Wisdom Eye or something like that. Just whatever you need for the situation. It's like really strong. So these cards are not only great cards to search what you need, but they also help you to break your opponent's boards in tandem with purple poison. So it's really strong. As I was explaining, you need ways to pop your own scales and your own iris to search. That's why I play these 3 cards. Then in tandem with that, we play 3 copies of Harmonizing Magician. This card is like insane. Her scale effect gives all your monsters a boost, which actually helps because purple poison, Black Fang halves your opponent's monsters. Purple poison will give you an additional 1200, and double iris lets you do double damage. So if you have this as a scale, after you've resolved double iris's effect and you've resolved Black Fang's effect, then you activate purple poison in scale, harmonizing in scale, boost attack for all your monsters for the different names you have, and then damage step, give it 1200. You can ulti K off of that. Like, this deck can do a ton amount of damage. Like, it's just insane. This deck can do so much. I really like it because it's so versatile. It's not like a linear fashion. It doesn't just do one thing. It has a lot of stuff that you can do. And it's really good with making boards and also breaking boards. And 3 purple poison, this is a no-brainer. It's just a really strong card. It's just so amazing. It's not a once per turn. It's like your opponent strikes it, okay, I'm still going to pop and you lose 1500. In tandem with that, we play 2 copies of Black Fang. For the life of me, I just can't play 3 because in playtesting, I hate opening up with more than one of this. Because when you open up with 2 8 scales, it's like, it's not really that good, especially when you're going first. Because like, if you open up with 2 of these when you're going first, you can't really do anything. You don't have nothing engraved, obviously, and you can't really pop it because you don't have anything engraved. It's just going to go to extra deck. It's like more of like a mid to late game thing. Or even if you're going second, you like either open up with it or you search it. And more than often, you want to use this as one of the monsters you Pendulum summon. So, like, you don't really lose too much from strike, and you can still resolve his effect. And summon him. I normally just summon him from the graveyard. So that way, when he gets destroyed, because his effect isn't once per turn, you can use it again and recur something else. So, like, it's really strong. Like, if you have double Black Fang and you Pendulum summon them, your opponent strikes both of them, you can just, like, use both the Black Fangs and bring them back. And then when they die, bring back the other monsters you lost to the strike. So, it's a really good card, and it helps... It like helps the tempo of the deck to keep playing and keep going and break boards. And it helps you to play through back rows, of course, but it's not a card I'd want to see multiples of in my first turn hand. That's why I just played 2 of him. And 1 Oath Dragon and 1 White Wing Dragon to sum up the monsters. You literally just play the White Wing to make the Zark. Her scale comes up ever so often when your opponent's trying to target the stuff you have. Like in the mirror match, this might be good depending on like the monster. Like if your opponent tries to like use Castell to like shuffle something, I don't know, like it just might come up ever so often, but it's not really like that good. It's like low-key good. The scale's kind of good, but you just really make it you really just put it in your grave right away just to make your Zark. And if I didn't want to play Zark in my extra deck, I would literally just cut this 1 card and play something else. But it doesn't really hurt. It helps out a lot because it's an additional low scale, and it's not that bad as a scale. Like protecting your stuff from targeting effects is kind of good. And then for spells, we play 3 copies of Duelist Alliance. This card is just insane. I mean, basically, it just lets you add any piece that you're missing. And if you're not missing a piece, it kind of just helps you to get more combos popping off. It's just really broken. I personally like 3 copies of Pendulum Call because mirror matches are going to come up a lot. And I explained this in the other deck profile that I showcased. This is your backup card. This is like your opponent breaks your board and clears your scales. This is how you just search your backup scales and then Pendulum Summon. It's just really strong. And this also helps a lot in the mirror match because when you resolve this, you can no longer get hit by Wavering Eyes. You have to be cautious about Wavering Eyes because in the mirror match, if your opponent Wavering Eyes you first, they're more than likely going to win just because they not only take all the scales away from you, but they get so much advantage in the fact that they get to search another Wavering Eyes, which means you're going to get hit by the Wavering Eyes again. You're getting one of your cards banished. They're searching what they need and they're burning you. So, like, that's why I feel like, me personally, I play this card at 3. A lot of people say, oh, it's bad, it's 1, it's 2, it could get hit by Ash. Do you realize that everything in this deck literally can get hit by Ash? Like, it's too much Ash bait. Your opponent never knows when you have this. If you play Duelist Alliance, they're more than likely going to Ash Duelist Alliance. They're more than likely going to Ash Double Iris because they don't want you to get Time Pendulum Grab. That's a stupid reason to play this card at less than 2 because, oh, it can get hit by Ash. Do you not realize that this entire deck has so much Ash bait? Like, everything is an Ash target. Like, your opponent doesn't know that you have this card in hand. They're not going to be like, oh, I'm going to let you search this trap and let you kill me by popping 2 of my cards because I want to Ash this card. And they don't even know that you have it in hand. That's just like the stupid reason. That doesn't make sense to me because everything in this deck can get hit by Ash. Like, it's just something that's going to happen. This could get hit by Ash. So if that's the case, then I should play, what, 1 Duelist Alliance or 2 Duelist Alliance because I'm scared to get hit by Ash? Nah, like, I don't think so. This is a really great card. It's like a recovery play. Like I said, it's your backup scales. This even helps you to search your Harmonizing Magician and your Double Iris. just so you can Pendulum summon them and then pop Harmonizing, pop Double Iris with your Sorcerer. Like, it's just stupid. Like, this not only searches your scales, it searches whatever you need. Like, you literally just, you get whatever you need with this card. It's insane. Like I said, in grind games, this is your recovery. Search your backup scales. In addition to that, like I said, in the mirror match, this enables, it makes sure that you're never going to get hit by Wavering Eyes. That, like, I've explained my reasons for playing 3. That's my personal reason. You don't have to play 3, but I play 3 because I have too much good reasons to not play it. Like, it's just such a good card. Like, it doesn't make sense to me to not play 3. Everybody has their own opinion, so there's no reason to argue here. You can just drop your own personal opinion, and I respect your opinion. I really do. I'm not, like, tripping. I mean, if you want to play your deck, obviously, it's however you want to play it because it's your deck. Like, it belongs to you. 3 copies of Wavering Eyes. You can, like, side this out, but I've been seeing a lot of Pendulum Magicians, so I choose to main this. It's like, if your opponent has Wavering Eyes, you do not want to play your deck without Wavering Eyes, because now they have an advantage over you that you don't have. So, like, you need to have this. It's a trump card. It's a really, really strong trump card. It's like, it's just so good. In addition to that, like I was explaining, you need ways to pop your own Double Iris, and sometimes to pop your Purple Poison, sometimes to pop your own Black Fang. Like, you just need ways sometimes to pop your own scales to get their effects off and to trigger this simultaneously. So Wavering Eyes helps if you don't open up with Luster or Sorcerer. You could just activate this. Like, say you open 2 copies of Double Iris, you could play them both in scales. Activate this, search for Time and Star, and then use this to search for another scale. Just like go off. It's like really, really good. 2 copies of Star Pendulum Graph. This helps it so that you never lose too much resources when your opponent's breaking your board. It makes sure that you have enough resources to reestablish yourself, which is really, really insane. I like it a lot. Like, if your opponent clears your scales or your monsters, you get a search inevitably. It's really strong. 2 copies of Desires and 2 Time Pendulum Graph to sum up the main deck. I really wanted to play like Strikes and Warnings, but what I ended up learning the hard way with this deck is if you draw too many traps, like if you literally draw more than 1 trap, like, it's like you have scales and no monsters. So it kind of hurts. So you just literally just play 2 of this and that's it. So that sums up the main deck. The extra deck is Decode Talker, Zark. Like, this card, okay, I'm going to explain this really, really fast. Time Star Magician is really, really broken. And this is something that I started doing with my deck. I started using Time Star's effect to protect for board wipes to sim the targets I need to make Zark. So within 2 turns, you can make your Zark if you use Time Star's effect. In tandem with this, to send a card on the field and pop a card, you can use his effect, send. Like, normally when you make him, you already use White Wing as a material, so White Wing's in the grave. Use him, send Black Fang. Purple Poison and Double Iris are already going to be on your hand or field. So if you make this turn 1, turn 2, you can drop Zark if you use him right. I don't understand why Pendulum players don't even run Zark. Like, I've seen a lot of Magician players in my locals that don't run Zark. In addition to that, why don't you use Time Star the way I feel like he should be used? Like, he's low-key broken because he sets you up for Zark. It doesn't make sense, but like, that's something that I really realized when I was reading the cards, and I was like, oh my god, I can use Time Star to set up for Zark. I haven't seen any Pendulum players using him that way, using the Time Star that way. They just use him, send any random. Like, that's stupid. Send the targets for Zark and you can make Zark. In addition to that, he searches Astrograph. So like, this card basically is a 1-card Zark. It's not literally like a 1-turn Zark, but when you make this, you're going to be able to make Zark. 1 Supreme King Starving, like, this is just really, really strong. There's so many matchups where he's just insane. Like, he can actually copy Masterpiece's effect in grave. This deck outs Masterpiece insanely. Like, you could just pop Masterpiece with Purple Poison or with Time Pendulum Graph, depending on, like, if they're scared that you're going to pop them with Purple Poison, they'll make them unaffected by monsters and spells. You just use this to kill them then. Like, you have monsters that out the Masterpiece, you have spells that out Masterpiece, and you have traps that out Masterpiece. He can only be unaffected by 2 of the 3, so this deck wouldn't always out Masterpiece no matter what. And what happens then, because you use this effect to copy Masterpiece, banish 1 of your graphs, Time or Star from grave, pop a card. It's just insane. And going against Conductor, like when they book a moon your whole field, you just Contact Fusion, summon him, copy Conductor, book, and then do Piercing. Instead of just send it to grave and inflict 1,000. Nah, you want to do Piercing on that hoe. It's just like a really, really strong card. It's like a tempo card. I really like it a lot. Ignister, this is like a sack. This is like a maxi. It's like a sacky card. Like, when you drop this in the mirror match, you can just pop your opponent's scale and shuffle his card. Or you can pop your opponent's monster and then shuffle another one. This just like lets you break boards in the mirror match. Aside from that, it's non-targeting, non-destroying removal. BLs is just like an auto win against the Draco matchup. This guy's like a Raigeki. He's just insane. These cards are cards that I picked up when I was upgrading my deck. Like in the other profile you saw, I didn't have these cards. Like I didn't have the Supreme King support. It's just stupid. You have Zark and then his buddies, his other fusion, his other synchro. Just the 2 fusions, the 1 decode, and then the 3 synchros. If I had like a Firewall Dragon, I definitely play that because this deck can make it with ease. 2 copies of Time Star. This is like the MVP. In addition to him protecting you from board wipes, searching anything you need, he sets you up for Zark like I was explaining. You just use his Foolish Burial effect when you have the graph so that your scale doesn't get destroyed. You send 2, you pop 1 and send 1, then you just set yourself up for Zark. It's insane. The Utopia package, this guy's just stupid. This is so freaking stupid. It doesn't even make sense. Like this kid right here with this man, this beautiful beast right here, he's just retarded. 1 copy of Trapeze. Instead of playing Blackwing Dragon, Trapeze is actually a lot better because like if your opponent has double Licorice and like he takes away your hand, like you basically don't take any damage. Or I'm sorry, why did I say double Licorice? If your opponent has Licorice on the field and like he tries to take away your hand, you don't take any burn damage. It's like basically in the Trickstar matchup, like you never take burn damage unless it's 25. If it's over 25 at once. If it's over 25 at once, it has to be at once. And naturally, that doesn't happen. It's like, okay, 2, 4, 6, 8 plus 2 because of the field spell. Nah, sorry, fam. I'm not taking anything because of Trapeze. So he's really strong in that sense, and he also OTKs. Like, he's just, like, really, really strong. Kerrigan, even if Masterpiece is unaffected by monsters, you can just redirect, which is something like that I thought was insane. And also, this helps you in, like, in certain matchups, like in the mirror match, if they use the Time Pendulum Graph Trap, you can redirect this to where they pop 2 of their own cards. And it still destroys 2, so they can't send a card on the grave. So it's really, really strong. Kerrigan is insane. 1 Abyss Dweller because of the True Draco matchup. In addition to that, it's just like a no-brainer. There's so much stuff that occurs. Even like in a mirror match, like if you strike your opponent's like Black Fang or any of their good magicians, like if you have Dweller on field and I don't run strikes, but I'm just saying this is a great example. If you strike their Black Fang and their Double Iris and like their Purple Poison, and after the strike resolves, their effects will kick in. You chain Dweller, their effects can no longer activate because they are activating in Grave, which is insane. So Dweller's just like stupid. And Tornado Dragon because he's like MST on legs. Thank you guys so much for watching the deck profile. I'm definitely going to be updating this deck throughout the year and like this format. This is like a really, really great contender for this format. I still myself am like a huge advocate for either basically Herald of Perfection or Yang Zing's True King Yang Zing's. Like that's like those are the only 2 decks like I would want to play this format. But if I wanted to, I could play this format and I could do exceptionally well. I could probably body everybody if I wanted to. But I have too many decks on my access, too much in my arsenal, and I have just like every meta deck you can think of. So I have all the choices, but I always choose anti-meta. It's just my thing. But God bless you guys. Make good choices. Don't hurt your brain cells. Be safe. Stay tuned for my updated Paleozoics, and also I got a surprise, Reverend Dreads. It's not finished though. It's really not finished. I'm missing like quite a few things. I'm missing like Solitaires, 1 Unizombie, Gozukis, another Mizuki. It's like totally incomplete. I don't even want to showcase a deck profile on it yet, but just know that a lot of people have been asking me to build this deck, and I've been building it slowly but surely because I love you guys. I go out of my way all the time to show you guys I support you. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and sign out, and you'll be hearing from me soon.